You may or may not know that Honda has an app that is available now on several of their motorcycles in 2020 as of December 2024 in the United States. The app is called Honda RoadSync. This app has been available globally since 2020, but it has just now made it to the United States for whatever reason. Think of it like an Android Auto or Apple CarPlay Lite. This gives you the necessary information without taking the need or taking up too much space on your screen. And it also gives you the ability to control your phone and your navigation with your handlebar. Generally, the app itself is accepted with mixed reviews around the globe. Since it has been out a little while, we have seen it pop up on the stateside through jailbroken phones and through APK downloads. This is the first official support and official launch in the United States of this app. There's a lot of good in this app. The music control gives you the ability to pause and play music, skip a track forward, volume up and volume down. Navigation gives you the ability to receive turn-by-turn instructions directly to your helmet through your Bluetooth headset, and to also see those immediate directions pop up on your screen. Also, whenever you get closer to a destination or you get closer to a turn, you'll see an actual pop-up on the bottom that will tell you the street name and which direction you need to go and how far away it is. There is a weather report available as well, both in your current location and your destination. You only hear one or the other. If you don't have a GPS destination inputted, you will hear your current location weather. If you have a GPS destination inputted, you can hear where you're going to go. On Android only, there's phone calls and text messaging available, both making and receiving phone calls, and texting, making and receiving text messages. Unfortunately, there's some bad, as with everything. The navigation, the built-in navigation that is provided by Honda is called HERE, H-E-R-E, all capitals. This built-in navigation is clumsy. It's not very good. There is an upside to that, but we'll discuss that later. The music control, from my experience, you have to have the app, the music app that you are going to use, launched on your phone before you turn on the bike, or before the music controller can control the music. The app needs a lot of permissions to run, especially on an Android. It wants to always be on, which is a big no-no for me. That will drain your battery very quickly. I usually turn it off. And the experience is severely lacking for iPhones. I'm sorry, iPhone users, this app may or may not be for you, but you don't get phone calls, you don't get text messages. From my understanding, you're stuck with Honda's HERE navigation, and it's somewhat iffy, and we will see that later. And lastly, the system's very chatty. It wants to talk all the time about everything. About where you are in the or where you are in the menus, about what you're doing with the menus, about what's about to happen. And then if you want it to be quiet a little bit, it shuts up about everything. There is a balance there, and it's missing that balance. So before we go into the garage, let's talk about what you need. I have a Jubro C5 back here with a Cardo headset, Cardo Freecom 4X. You're going to need a Bluetooth headset for this service or for this to work. You have to have one. If you don't have a Bluetooth headset, I do not believe that the app will function properly. Next, obviously, you need a phone, Android or iPhone. Android, you're going to see better performance. So if you have a choice of the litter and you are picking your phone based off of mostly motorcycle riding, I would definitely recommend an Android over an iPhone. And last, compatible motorcycle. 2025 Honda Rebels, as far as I know, as far as I'm aware, all Honda Rebels received this. And in 2025, Honda Transalp. Those are the only motorcycles I'm aware in Honda's lineup that allow you to do this. Let's go dive into the garage, look at how we install this, and we'll come back for conclusions. So we're going to start by downloading the application. You can see the application here on my phone, Honda RoadSync. So I'm going to press install. We're actually going to turn the bike off while this is working. So this is before we turn on the bike. So I'll open that. So you're going to see the welcome screen. You want to make sure that you have your headset ready to connect. Let me grab my helmet. And correction to that, your headset should already be connected to your phone before you start this process. It will make the process more seamless. So let's follow the app. Let's see what it says. So let's go to that. Please read this. There's been several times now that people are getting in trouble for not reading these things. So this is where it starts asking things. So we can see here, navigation reference. You just need to accept these. Please read them. All right, so I'm going to sign in. So this is what it's going to talk about, what it's capable of doing with Honda RoadSync. We're going to go ahead and do next for navigation while using the app. All right. It wants to do all the time. This is what I was talking about. It's aggressive with its permissions. So weather. Allow. So I'm allowing all these permissions. I'm going to use Apple Music because that's my preferred music app. So this is where it's asking for Bluetooth connection. So I'm going to press next. So now we need to connect to the motorcycle. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my headset first. You can hear it come on. And pardon me, that came up. So let's go over here. All right. So next. All right, so this is where you need to select your motorcycle. Rebel, next. So now we're going to turn on the motorcycle. With the motorcycle on, you're going to notice a little notification here. We're going to dismiss that notification just by toggling any way on the switch. The switch toggles left, right, up, and down. That's all it does, so don't expect it to do anything more than that. You cannot push this switch. If you would like a video on the interface, going over the interface, we can maybe do that later. If I get a request for it, or maybe we'll just do a short to show you the interface. So now we need to follow the directions, so it's telling us to switch modes. So we need to go to the right. We're going to scroll down, then press right. This is telling you to press right to select it. So we're going to press right. We're going to scroll down to General. We're going to press right. We're going to go down to Bluetooth Pairing Reset. So once on Bluetooth Pairing Reset, we're going to press right. Whenever you see a double arrow in this interface, that means you need to hold it, not do it twice. So we're going to hold for OK. So now it's saying proceeding. So right here you see it, pair to connect. Allow access, pair. So it's paired. So now it's starting to pair. I may have to do it again. Try again. Start pairing. There we go. It popped up, so it took me a couple times, but it paired. So pair, doing both. There we go. So now we're going to press next. Connect to a headset. It's connected. Notifications. That's why I want you to set up your headset first, because I immediately just get past that part. So we're going to allow notifications. Grant notification can't app access. So we're going to allow. So this is doing a lot. Like I said, I don't like it. You heard it beep. That is the headset beeping. So we'll check later. All right, so now that we are finished, we're going to back out and we're going to see a new function. You see Honda RoadSync pop up here.
Main menu.
And here we go, the chatty bit. So I press I accept. So now you have a phone interface as well as a dash interface. We'll go over the phone interface real quick. You can see we have navigation, call, messaging, music, and volume. You see your weather in your top corner? Yes, I live in Jersey Village. And then if we go to settings, this is where we're going to adapt change some of our settings. So if we receive incoming calls, It's going to ask, you go through this yourself, make these your settings. So I'm going to leave it on ask. Incoming messages, I'm going to do ask to read. I don't want them to just automatically be read. Voice guidance, I'm going to do detailed readout. And this is where I was talking about. If you do standard readout, it doesn't give you enough information. And we'll see that in a minute. So I'm going to do standard readout. Then back to main menu, return to main menu 15 seconds after voice guidance ends. No, I don't want that. Screen behavior, system default. I'm going to leave it on. Cancel. This is where this comes in handy. Pardon that. All right, so Bluetooth auto launch, leave that on. That way this app starts whenever, and that way you can also, in the background of your phone settings, don't let the app run in the background. It'll chew up your battery. So this is all the stuff we just went over. Favorite places. This is where you need to set up your favorite places if you are going to use Honda's Here navigation. My recommendation, if you're using Android, swap it over to the Google Maps navigation. It will use Here navigation and Google Maps enter seamlessly. But use Google Maps as much as possible because this mess is annoying. What happens is if I do a sub-favorite place right now, whenever I go into the navigation, whenever we look at it on the bike, you're going to notice a couple of problems with it. First, it doesn't read out where you're going unless you have that detailed selected in the settings we were looking at, the detailed readout. The problem with the detailed readout is you already heard it chime up a little bit. This thing loves to chat. It tells you what menu in, it tells you where your volume's at, it tells you what you're listening to, which is great in some of it. But then it keeps on telling you every single time you swap menus, it just tells you another menu. So my recommendation, set up your favorite places. If you're good and you are going to commit it to using the Here app, memorize your favorite places. Favorite place 1 is your home. Favorite place 2 is your church. Favorite place 3 is your work. Favorite place 4 is your girlfriend's house. Whatever. Memorize what those favorite places are and set them up. This is mandatory, especially if you have an iPhone, because you're going to need it. So that's the sub favorites. Distance is miles. By the way, a little quirk that the software has, for whatever reason, the software cannot say miles. It says mickles or something like that. It's very weird, but it is what it is. So you can set up your avoid tolls or avoid highways here on your route options. This is more for the Here navigation. And then, yeah, that's the route options. That's what we just looked at. Repeat last. So this is where we're going to look at on here. There is a feature I like that if you tap left whenever you're in navigation, or right whenever you're on navigation, it will read out how far away your destination is and what your ETA is. Don't do this though, because this will do it every single time it gives you a turn-by-turn direction. I'm going to press play test so that you can hear it on the mic through the headset on the helmet.
In 2.7 kilometers, turn left.
Now I'll say mile.
10:30 a.m. ETA.
There you go.
35 kilometers to the destination.
So instead of kilometers, it'll say nickels or something like that. It doesn't know how to say miles for whatever reason. It's kind of stupid. So Apple Music source, that's what I have. Fahrenheit, because I'm in the U.S. and imperial measurements are the ones that matter. Sorry, I'm British people. So this is where you can set up your most commonly used items. So I like to put the music all the way up because it's the one I use the most. And then the rest of them are fine the way they are. Maybe volume up next. Okay, and that should be it. So now we are all set up. So let's turn off the phone because we should be able to do everything from here. So we're going to come here and we're going to try to start the music app.
Loading Apple Music. Music connected.
And it works. Of course it does. And let me pause that before I get demonetized. Of course it does. Apple Music works. In my experience in the past, it doesn't work after the first couple of times. So it'll work right now and it'll launch the app. It works great. But in my experience, you actually have to turn on your phone and launch Apple Music. You get it playing a song for this to work in the past. And that might be, since I just reset it, it's working now, and after a couple of restarts, it's not going to work. But for whatever reason, it is working, and that is the functionality it should have. So if you do, I'm going to press play really quick. But if you do play, you go volume down. I'm going to pause it real quick because I don't want to get demonetized. So volume down is pushing down, volume up is pushing up. Skipping track is pushing, well, it can show you. So pushing right is skipping track, and then pushing left is your play and pause. How you get out of this? This is where that navigation can be a little weird. You're going to hold it until it goes all the way out. And this is the readout I was talking about. It likes to read out everything that you're doing. So I'm going to come over to volume. I'll turn this up so that y'all can hear it. Alright, so now I'm going to back out again by holding left. Then I'm going to come down again.
Navigation.
So here's navigation.
Voice search.
So we're going to try the voice search. This is using the here navigation.
Say place or address after the beep.
7-Eleven. See?
Voice confirmation.
It does not like to work. So this is where you could do your nearby to try to search for nearby navigations, or you set up your favorites. This is where I don't like to do it. This is what I like to do instead. Okay, Google. Take me to the nearest 7-Eleven. And there you go. It's showing you how to get to where you're going right there.
You're back online. You should reach your destination by 4:26 p.m.
So there you go. Now it's showing you exactly where you need to go. By the way, don't try to use any other navigation app. It won't work. Either Google Maps or the built-in here navigation. Use Google Maps, please. Don't use the built-in here navigation. On the iPhones, you may be able to download Google Maps and use it. I have not tested that, but that may work. But do not use the here navigation. But once you're navigating,
Navigation options.
I can press this button. I'm going to press right, and it's going to read out.
Sand Pass Lane toward Rio Grande Drive. 4:26 p.m. ETA. 2.1 miles to the destination.
All right. As you can see, that's actually nice. I like that, being able to press right. Now I can control this navigation while I'm driving. So I'm going to press left to cancel, and I love this feature. It doesn't automatically just cancel. It's asking you to verify by going the other direction, so right to cancel. I love that.
Navigation ended.
You'll notice what just happened though. Whenever I navigated, you got a pop-up on the bottom of the screen. Well, the problem with that is, if you notice, and if you're a keen viewer, you notice that pop-up covered my fuel range. Yes, I know I need to get gas. That pop-up covered my fuel range. You couldn't see how many miles you had left, or it was obscured. Honda, for the love of God, whenever navigation starts, have the screen shift up a bit, or in that pop-up before it reaches this side. You should not have this navigation pop-ups obscure information on the screen. The whole purpose of this thing is to be safer. And if you're blocking my tachometer, if you're blocking my mileage and how many miles I have left on the tank, maybe that's important information. Maybe that doesn't go away after a while. Those pop-ups, you could choose to keep them on 24/7. And if that never goes away while you're navigating, then you're never going to fully see what your mileage is. Please fix that, Honda. Giant complaint. All right, next, call.
Call.
So this is where you can do your voice search.
Recent
You can do
call.
recent calls,
Favorites.
and you can do your favorites. Again, go into the app, set up your favorites. I would highly recommend this. The voice search seems to work on this, and also you could just select the favorites. This is also where I was talking about that detailed readout. Make sure you have detailed readout on. I know it's annoying. There's going to be talking to you all the time. It's chatty as hell. But leave the detailed readout on, because whenever you go to favorites, it'll say 1, the name of the person you're trying to dial. And then you go down 2, the name of the person you're trying to dial. Versus if you don't have detailed readout on, whenever you select 1, it'll just say 1. That's stupid. It's the same thing with the navigation, on the here navigation. It'll say 1, church, on detailed readout. But on detailed readout, it'll just say 1. It's like, how the hell am I supposed to memorize that? So set up your favorites, and if you don't want the detailed readout, that way you can hear what your favorites are.
Name, message.
Text messaging.
Voice search.
The cool part is, whenever you receive a message, you will get a notification through the helmet that you received a message. Then you press right to read it. It reads it out, great. Then you can press right again to respond, or you can press left to cancel. If you press right to respond, it'll give you a chance to actually say what you want to text, and then it'll reply. That's hit or miss. That part is hit or miss. Use your built-in personal assistant for that built into your phone. Whether that's, I don't want to say it right now, Google assistant, or the Siri. Whichever that is, use that instead to do your text messaging. However, just for a quick readout, just so you don't have to look at it, this is great. Again, set up your favorites just the same. All right, you will notice something.
Weather in Jersey Village is moderate rain. Temperature is 64 degrees Fahrenheit.
So there's the weather readout. That was a good example of the weather readout. You will notice something, however. I've lost the ability to control the rest of my bike. So this is, I'm just going to give you a brief run around. I'm not going to go over the software on this bike, but a brief run around. To get out of this, you are going to push right, but hold it. Now you're in the regular menu of the bike.
To enjoy the full features of Honda RoadSync, long press left to switch into Honda RoadSync mode.
And that is the chattiness I'm talking about. It will do that every single time you jump out of RoadSync. It will say that. Now that you're in here, you could do whatever you're going to do. You could mute the bike. You could go to your favorite, whatever you have your favorite stored as. You could go to your settings. You could change the display. Whatever you're going to do, you could do that. Whenever you're ready to go back into Honda RoadSync, you're going to hold it left. That's what this phone image is. And I'm back in. And that's it. That's pretty much it. It works well when it wants to. So in conclusion, my recommendation is this. Have realistic expectations about what you want from this. You need to understand that this is not a Apple CarPlay or Android Auto replacement. This is a substitute. What do I mean by that? This is a cheaper motorcycle that on last year's model, the Rebel did not have any intelligent dash outside of the TFT that was basic. This is something that Honda has decided to include on their lower end models. The Africa Twin is only $5,000 more, maybe a little more than that, than the Transalp, but that comes with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So this software is not intended for their premium motorcycles. As such, I would not expect premium attention from Honda on that. It does have its quirks, but it does work. It provides you needed navigation. It provides you control of your music. It reads out your text messages, allows you to send them. You can receive and make phone calls, and you get your weather, all without having to touch your phone if operating correctly. It is definitely safer than trying to use your phone while riding. Apple and Honda need to work stuff out. If you can make the iPhone make phone calls and text messages on this device and use Google navigation, then you will have a lot of people wanting to use this app more, and you will see an uptick in usage. Thank you for tuning in. I didn't say it in the last video, but the channel's name is ZD Moto Life. I'd like to see some community engagement. Let me know what you would like to see in the future, whether that's product unwraps, whether that's reviews of any modifications I've done on my motorcycle. I plan on doing some moto vlogging, provided this continues to do well, and we'll see where it goes from there.